Hello and welcome everybody to today's video. Welcome to the Vee Academy. My name is Crumbrion, Professor Crumbrion, if you would. And today we're going to be taking a look at a wonderful game that we played on Pokemon Trading Card Game Live, and be happy to get your reactions to it. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy this kind of content. If you want to follow me and watch games in real time, check me out on twitch.tv/Crumbrion. For now, let's go check out the game. Thanks for watching.
3, 2, 1, go!
Where they're sitting there doing nothing for like the longest time. Because it was the Make It Rain. They used Make It Rain. And they had enough energy for knockout, obviously. And so they were sitting there and 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 sitting there. And then I emoted them. And instantly when I hit the emote button, bam. Bam. Attack goes off. I'm like, okay, that happens a lot and it's really weird. Okay, this is a bit of an annoying turn here. This is an annoying turn of events. Are they going second? We are going second. That's good. That's very good. Hopefully we don't get screwed again with the Kirlias being a problem. This is another situation where Mimikyu is going to be very strong into this deck. Could have been coincidence. They could have just been trying to figure out math. It was not that hard. They did the math earlier in the game. I think it was against a Munkidori. They just needed 3 energies. It's 50 damage per energy. It's really not that difficult. They did the math earlier in the game, and they're just sitting there staring into space for the longest time. Okay, so this one plays a Cramorant. That does work against our Mimikyu, but again, that's fine. I'm okay if they go after Mimikyu. All right, so Drifloon, we go Poffin. This is a chance to check our deck here. Do we have our 2 Kirlias? We do. Thank fucking God for the first time in existence. We have 1 Dark Prize? No, we have our Dark. We have 2 Psychic Energy Prize, though. We go that there. I'm going to save the Vengeful Punch, because if they do boss up a Ralts, we have 2 Ralts they could possibly boss, so we'll put down Mimikyu. The Vengeful Punch is going to go on Mimikyu. Now, we only have 2 cards, and this is a bit spooky, but it's fine. They also just have 2 cards, and they don't have a full setup yet. They don't have Snorlax. So this might be an Iono coming, and that would be nice if it is. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, string cheese math is super serious. Super simple. I think it's serious. Yeah, they just had research. That's unfortunate for us, but... And it's unfortunate that they just had researches, but it's fine. Do they have the retreat on Wooloo? They don't know, if they don't have Postwick, they don't have a knockout on Monkey, so that's not a Latios, so that's at least nice. Okay. Oh, unfortunately, we have to put down Mew, as much as I don't want to. I think we retreat into Mimikyu here to force them to have to boss. Not very promising draw right now. Where's my supporters at? Where are my supporters at right now? There's the Postwick. So if they evolve into Hops Dubwool, they can boss something up here, which it looks like they're going to. They're gonna have to switch it out though. But we do have double Kirlia down, which is good. So there's the switch. So they potentially have a KO on Monkey, which is not ideal, but it is what it is. If they have the Dubwool in hand, which that would be a lot to ask, but not going to put it past them. They also just don't have Latias, so we can lock something in the active like Snorlax. There it is, yeah, I knew it. So they're just going to take out Monkey here. Yeah. Boy, howdy, can I call it? That's a very awkward target to attack, actually. Well, that gives me hope, actually. That's crazy. All right. Might want to just save that, actually. I just want to save the Ultra Ball for this turn coming up. So we can get double Guardy down. That's really good. And if they attack into us with a Duraludon, then it's also fine. Because it doesn't activate Cram yet. And we get the 40 damage on Duraludon, which is nice. Okay. They're going to get Archaludon going, that's fine. Archaludon doesn't have an answer for Mimikyu, so we don't care. Now they're going to try to go for Brave Slash, I see. Now they're going to retreat into Duraludon. Yep. As expected. It has 90 damage on it now. And it's going to have 90 HP left, rather. That's fine. Clears up our energy back in the discard pile. Gets us another energy for retreat. We can get Mimikyu back in to wall out the Archaludon, and we have Drifloon to blast it into space, so that is also very good. We go Charm on Balloon. I think we go Carmine here. Much as I love... Okay. Countercatcher, okay. We don't have 5 energies, though. We have 2. We have 3. Yeah, not enough. Okay. Probably should have put something else down first, in hindsight. Monkey. We'll counter catcher. Get damage on Snorlax. You're full from dinner? Let's go. So now they don't have Archaludon attacking yet. Losing Monkey would be a little bit sad, but now we have Hop Snorlax within 90 HP as well. So because we played Mimikyu, it forces them to change how they have to play. They can just get a second Archaludon out now, but this has 40 damage on it now, which is nice. It's very good for us. And now they don't have a good option to switch out the hops unless they have Turos in hand, so we'll see. This is going to be in danger now. Screamtail being active is going to be very nice here as well. So we have a Dark Energy in there, so we can get another Dark Energy down. If Monkey dies here, that's kind of fine. Looks like they're getting another Steel Energy for some reason. So that tells me they are not very confident on having Archaludon ready here, which is good for us. All right, so what do we do here? I want to commit the energy to board, but how much are we doing? We're doing 80 with Screamtail. Could have, I guess I couldn't have mewed there. Wouldn't have made a difference. Okay, we get the Dark Energy. For follow-up turn, we get, okay, we get enough here. That's good. That's what we wanted. Or not, because we have a lot of energy missing. All right, so that's spooky. 40, 60. So we're doing 120, which is enough to knock that out. Okay. 20, 40, 60. $160 does what? And the problem is if I free up a spot, they can get Latias. And that is not ideal. Do it this way. Scoop up Cyclone. Yeah, that's what I was expecting. Something like that to happen. Mm-hmm. Okay. That's fine. It's not looking like they're playing Latias here. They're not concerned with Latias. They're playing cards that would help them have Latias as well, so I don't think that's too worrisome. That's fine. So now we can start freeing energy from the board here. Yeah, we can clear up this KO with Mimikyu. We've attached for turn already, unfortunately. So they can attack with Cram this turn. Yeah, I mean, it's something we're going to have to do. We'll force them to attack with Cramorant this turn. You're AFK right now, Repets? No problem. So, if they Defiant Horn, whatever. Not anything and I'm too worried about. Like, losing the Drifloon would suck, but... Would really love Countercatcher to get rid of that Archaludon threat, but... Since we can ignore the Cramorant if we can go below 3 prizes, so... It's already doing enough to KO Mimikyu anyways. That doesn't matter. Literally doesn't matter. Oh, their damage spread is gone, which is nice. Gonna boss out the Munkidori. Oh, the Mew. Okay, sure. I guess. It's 2 prizes. So we have to get the Archaludon here. And there's no other way around it. We kind of have to get our last Countercatcher here. And hope we can get there. We'll have... Yeah, we don't have enough energies in the discard pile yet. We have Turos, but it won't really be helpful. They have everything they need, I guess. Well, I mean, not necessarily, though. Because they're trying to power up the Snorlax now, so... They're anticipating that I'm going to be using Mimikyu to block this next attack. It's a pretty good anticipation. What they should be expecting, so... Fuck me, dude. It's not Countercatcher. Well, I think we're kind of fucked here. I believe we are kind of fucked here. If they have boss, then we're just kind of cooked anyways, but... My cards are pretty. Thank you. We get the hand disruption. Countercatcher would be really nice to get here. Of course we don't get it. Of course we don't get it. That's unfortunate. Unfortunately makes 0 difference here what we do. Boss wins them the game, which I'm sure they have it, but... Our energies being prized is so fucking troll. Whatever. So they just have Archaludon, like, then they're gonna get the Snorlax powered up, but... Let's see what they do here. So we need Counter Catcher again here. Of course, you have Research. Yeah, shocking. I don't think there's a path back to this now. Sadly. They just do 220, 220 next turn. We lose. We have the energy for the Drifloon. If I attack with Drifloon, it's the only other thing I could do is kill this with Drifloon. Well, hold on. Hold on. I think we might win. I think we might actually have a path to victory. Potentially. Secret Box helps. Secret Box helps because we Turo Mimikyu for 2. We have a 5th energy in. We do. I think we actually win now. Oh my lord. Insane. Actually crazy. I think we actually win now. Barely. We get there. Insane. So even if Drifloon didn't have the extra damage on it right now, we would just have the extra energies that we wanted to get there, so. Insane combo. That's crazy. That's fucking crazy. Wow. Wow. Holy cow. All right, we got to look at this one. We have to look at this one. Oh my lord. So again, we were in a very, very tough spot. And this is why you cannot count out Gardevoir at any point in time. When you're playing against a Gardevoir, it's very, very tough. What a game. Oh my gosh. So we draw TM Evo off of their one mulligan. They get Hops Wooloo. So this tells me, because they're playing Hops Wooloo, this tells me they're not necessarily playing Latias, because they don't have room for Latias in this particular setup right now. So they go Nest Ball, they go Archaludon, they go Zacian, Ultra Ball. Redeemable Ticket mention. I love this card. If I could play it in every deck, as a 61st card, I love Redeemable Ticket. It's so good. So the Cramorant puts a bit of a wrinkle in our Mimikyu ability to block them here. So we would love, like, the reason why I attached Vengeful Punch was because of the Cramorant, because it's much easier to clean that up. But we never got to get there, unfortunately, but still won the game. Drifloon to the bench, just because we get 2 Ralts down with the Buddy PAF in here. We checked the deck with Buddy PAF to make sure we had the Kirlias. We did. So energy attaching to Munkidori just in case they can reach 120. Going to be the Psychic Energy, because we don't want to put the Dark Energy down and then immediately lose Munkidori and the Dark Energy. So we want to preserve, if the monkey's going to get knocked out, we put down the Psychic Energy. It's a very important difference. We have Psychic and Dark in hand. When there's a situation where you could lose your monkey immediately, put down the Psychic, because then at least it's productive for your board state. So we go TM Evo. We Nest Ball, we get Mimikyu down. So Mimikyu, just to have Mimikyu visible is very important in this matchup, because it's going to make our opponent play differently. It's going to force them to keep a Duraludon or put an extra Duraludon down and attach energies in a different manner. So it does actually make our opponent play differently here. And we attach the Vengeful Punch to Mimikyu. TM Evo, boom, boom, Kirlia's out. Awesome. Great start for us. Pretty good. Not the best start, obviously, into Archaludon, but you can't really ask for much better. Because we have, I say that because the last two cards in our hand are pretty much useless. We have nothing in our hand else that we can use after that turn, so we're hoping that they Iono. They instead research, because their two cards were just two copies of Professor's Research, so they just waste research there. They end up getting Hop's Choice Band. They put down Snorlax to the bench. They get Hop's Choice Band onto the Zacian, attach energy to the second Duraludon, or no, it was the first Duraludon, and then put a second Duraludon to their bench. They can't do anything, so they end their turn here. So very good for us. So not taking a knockout, we stopped them from having to take a knockout because, I mean, well, the deck kind of stopped them because they had a Pokemon that they couldn't retreat at the time. So we put down Mew because this at least guarantees us, with Nest Ball, 2 cards in hand, Mew guarantees us the ability to draw out of the 0 card dead draw that we have right now. So energy onto Monkey in the active slot. Mimikyu is in the active. So we want to retreat the Monkey because there's no benefit to us putting damage onto the Wooloo right now. And we want to preserve the Munkidori because if they have a chance to retreat the Wooloo, they're just going to instantly knock out Monkey because they have everything on board set up to do 120 damage now. So best to preserve the Monkey as long as we possibly can. This is very nice. Earthen Vessel allows us to grab 2 more energy out of the deck. We have 2 Kirlia, so obviously Rare Candy can be used for the Earthen Vessel. Easy. We just take 2 cards out, hopefully draw something better on our next turn. We have to end our turn because we have no energy to attack. They put down Postwick, so again, like they just would have had an instant KO on Monkey if we kept the Monkey in the active, so it was a good thing we didn't. Arven goes Switch. But unfortunately, we anticipated the Monkey was going to die because of Wooloo being left alive. So Switch, they just instantly have Hop's Double. So again, the worst scenario that we could possibly go into is manifesting here. They get Zacian with the Monkey knockout, with Postwick. Everything's just going wrong for us. So they knock out our Monkey. We lose our Dark Energy. Kirlia is in the active slot because now we can at least attach and retreat, get more energy in the discard pile. Iono's a really solid draw here off the top deck because this allows us to potentially get a Gardevoir out now. So we have 2 Kirlias. We retreat Kirlia to the bench in favor of Mimikyu. We play the Iono. We put 1 Psychic Energy on the bottom of the deck and we draw into Gardevoir, which is exactly what we needed. So we needed Gardevoir, we needed the energy, we needed the Ultra Ball, all that sort of stuff. So like the Night Stretcher is nice too. All of this is very, very good. So we could have done this a little bit differently because I Night Stretchered for Monkey. I could have Ultra Balled for Munkidori and then Night Stretchered for the Dark Energy just to have it. But there was no damage left on board, so it's not a pressing matter for that to happen right this second. So we don't necessarily need to do it. If they knock out Mimikyu, that's fine. We have the Vengeful Punch on it, so it's going to be a productive knockout. It's going to force them to have to do something other than attack with Zacian to do it, so I'm okay with this. So they go ahead and Ultra Ball for Archaludon. They get an Archaludon going, fully powered up. They get 2 energies. So they... did they attach that to Zacian? They did. So they attached 2 to the Zacian, and then they retreated Zacian. So they used the Archaludon to retreat the Zacian, which is exactly the Mimikyu factor I was looking for. So they evolved an Archaludon for absolutely nothing. They evolved an Archaludon for a switch. So that turn they had Archaludon, if we don't have Mimikyu in the active, they attach to Archaludon and then they attack whatever's in the active for a knockout and an additional damage. This turn, however, they evolve Archaludon. Those 2 energies are committed to Zacian, so it can retreat. Those 2 energies are now gone. And a second Archaludon is going to have to attack to evolve in order to get those energies back. And they have to attack with Duraludon for the knockout. So again, you can see how Mimikyu manipulates our opponent's actions in the match. This is not a great thing for our opponent to have to do, but they have to do it if they want to take out Mimikyu. So they do that and they eat the Vengeful Punch on Duraludon, and now this has 90 HP. And so that's in a bit of peril too. So it's a very good spot for us to be in, right? We've manufactured, just by having Mimikyu in the active, we've manufactured a fairly decent setup going on. And we've also committed 70 damage to the Zacian, which it was forced out to retreat. So drawing Judge here, we get energy to the Kirlia. in the active slot. That allows us to have another retreat here at least. Carmine, I think what I should have done here, I should have used Artisan first, because getting Screamtail and then retreating into Screamtail would have been a better move than retreating into whatever I retreated into. Monkey, yeah. Retreating into Screamtail would have been better than retreating into Monkey. I probably should have done it that way. Thinking about it differently now, so that was kind of a punt by me. It doesn't end up getting punished here, which is nice, but we ended up pulling. It would have made the game a lot easier for me if I just put down Screamtail, retreated into Screamtail, and then powered Screamtail up. That would have been a much different turn, but it worked out slightly okay. So we bring up the Snorlax to lock that in the active now. Because the thing is if we bring up Snorlax, we don't have to attack into Snorlax with Screamtail. We can attack anything else, and then it lessens the impact of what they're about to do. So we Psychic Embrace, do 60 damage on the Snorlax. Okay, cool. And then they don't do anything this turn. So they miss a turn here. They miss a damage turn, and this is phenomenal. So the counter catcher stuck. That's great, because now we're chilling. They don't have a retreat. They don't have a scoop up. They don't have anything to get the Snorlax out of the active. Awesome. So now we do what we should have done last turn and have the Screamtail in the active. Unfortunately, one of the Psychics is attached to Monkey, so a little bit less damage output on the Screamtail. But we go for Iono here. We get decent stuff in return. We get the Earthen Vessel, so that allows us to at least get more energy in the discard pile. This is when we find out a lot of our energies are in the prizes, unfortunately, but we get Turos. Turos is in the deck, which is nice. So even putting down Lively Stadium is not really a bad thing for us at certain points in the game. So we Iono, they shuffle their hand, they get their hand disrupted. Cool. Earthen Vessel gets us our last 2 energy in the deck, which is a Psychic and a Dark energy. Psychic Embrace as much as we can to the Screamtail, which is only unfortunately 60 damage. We could have done another one, but the 160 is not really going to be a back-breaking difference for us. 120 versus 160 is not huge. We don't want to take a knockout here. This is important. We don't want to take a knockout on the Zacian because we want to save that damage for later. We want that to be a knockout that we can take later. We don't want to give them Pheasantipity draw. We don't want to take a knockout here. We just want to set up damage because they've shown that they can't do anything with the Snorlax in the active. So now that we have done an inordinate amount of damage to this Hop Zacian, they have to scoop up Cyclone, the Hop Snorlax. And this is important too, because we have stranded the Snorlax in the active. Even though their Zacian is in absolute critical health, they cannot use their scoop up Cyclone on the Zacian because they need to get attacks. They cannot continue missing attacks. They have no other switches. They have to scoop up the Snorlax. It's impossible for them to do anything when the Snorlax is in the active. So their ace spec and their scoop up is committed to a Pokemon that's irrelevant rather than a 2-prize Pokemon that's about to die. So very solid from us here. We go, we get knocked out here by the Insta Strike. It does 30 damage to, what did it do 30 damage to? Munkidori. There it is. Screamtail's knocked out. Okay, Monkey's back. So now we can free the last psychic energy from our Munkidori. We can Night Stretcher the Mimikyu back in just to kind of clear up the KO. So the thought process behind this, we put up Mimikyu. Mimikyu is going to clear up the KO on Hop Zacian. It's going to force them to not put up Archaludon. They're going to have to attack with Cramorant because of the way that we have it, because we put down Lively Stadium, which puts Mimikyu out of range of a Duraludon knockout, so it has to be Cramorant. We want Cramorant to be the active Pokemon. We do not want Archaludon to be the active Pokemon. It does way too much hit points, and we don't have enough energy for Drifloon to knock it out at that particular moment in time. So we want to kind of force them into bringing up the Cramorant, because if we can take if we can work around the Cramorant, because it's not really that threatening, we have a couple of options. Either if we take a 2-prize knockout, Cramorant is then ineffective. If we can't reach the 2-prize knockout, we just knock out the Cramorant. using our Gardevoir, our biggest HP total on the field, and they have no other gusting options, so we have different things that we can do. So, go for the Adrenabrain. We put 30 damage onto the Cram. We restart for 1 here. We use Ghost Eye to knock out Zacian. So we know that Cramorant's going to be the one coming up to attack, so we're leaving ourselves open for potential different attackers here. They end up getting a boss here anyways, I believe, because they have Hops Double, which is very annoying. So they Snorlax to the bench, Postwick back into the slot. Defiant Horn bosses up Mew, which was an interesting one. So this is going to put them down to 1 prize by taking out Mew, because between Postwick and all the other bonuses they have, they get to knock out Mew. Arven for Band, Earthen Vessel. They're trying to load up their Snorlax now, so that in case we get Mimikyu back in, they have an attacker that can go into Mimikyu. So we're getting to a point where they're very close to checkmating us. Very, very close. So our follow-up here needs to be very, very precise. So Kirlia gets another energy to the discard pile. We retreat Kirlia once again. Night Stretcher gets us a Dark Energy. Now we have 2 Munkidoris. This is very important. Gardevoir is going to do 60 damage to itself. That 60 damage is going to go on to one of their Hops Double. They have no Scoop Up left. They have no Scoops left. They have no way to... And Hops Double is an evolution. It can't evolve again. It doesn't have a stage 2. So we do 60 damage to Hops Double, which means this has 60 HP left. So the follow-up turn, if we can push 60 more damage over and we can take out the Duraludon, a 2-prizer, we just take our final 3 prizes. So we're setting up for a 2-prize combo here, or a 2-turn combo that is going to be game-winning. And I don't know if our opponents saw it. We knock out the Cramorant with Gardevoir. They don't have... And the reason that this worked is because they don't have another single prize attacker like Snorlax ready yet. They don't have the ability to just instantly have energy on Snorlax and have the attack. They don't have that yet. So they research. We also Ionoed them down to 1. So they lost the potential play to get a second Archaludon out. I believe they had a Duraludon still. So if they evolved to Archaludon, they could have attacked with the Snorlax, and then we would have been in a very pickle of a situation. But the point here is that we Ionoed them down to 1. The 1 card that they had was either Research or Zacian. They can't do anything with that. They have to research. It looks like we Ionoed away their ability to get Archaludon out, which was very, very good. So that went to the bottom of their deck. They don't have it anymore. They don't have a way to get it anymore. And so they have to swing into Gardevoir with Metal Defender, and that just gives us game. Because now we draw Secret Box, which just, you know, the Drifloon had 30 damage on it. Ill-advised attack. So like when you're playing into a Zacian, and the reason why I played it the way that I did at the end of the game was because I'm ignoring the misplay that my Zacian opponent did. You never want to put 30 damage on a Pokemon like Drifloon or Screamtail unless you're knocking it out. That was such a bad move, because now it reduces the amount of energy I need on Drifloon to hit its maximum energy, or hit its maximum damage. But it didn't really matter anyways, because 30 damage just makes it hit 330. We still have to hit 300. So Gardevoir to the bench, 2 energies. Secret Box gets us Turo. And this is important because at our energy deficit, I think we had more than enough anyways, but just to make absolute goddamn sure. Turo, Mimikyu. Mimikyu loses its 2 energy to the discard pile. Gardevoir, 2 energy to the discard pile. All of a sudden, that gives us 5 energy in the discard pile, which means Drifloon is hitting for 330 damage because it had 30 existing on it already. Had the charm on it. We Adrenabrain, complete the knockout on Double for a single prize. Drifloon in the active slot. We Turo the 2 energies, 5 energies to Drifloon. 11 damage counters equals 330 damage. Archaludon's knocked out for the last 2 prizes of the game, and we somehow stole that game from the jaws of defeat. So I am very pleased with the play in that game. I don't know if I can do better today. That was insane. That was very good. We've had a lot of very well played games today. I think this one tops it. This one was like one of the most absolute crazy games I played in a very long time. Kudos. TRM almost had it. I think the even the 30 damage on Drifloon didn't even really matter at that point. Like, closely played game. Mimikyu changed how our opponent had to play the game. Again, it's just showing the strength that it has into this current meta right now. Otherwise, we might have lost. We might have very well lost that game because they were down to a single prize. If that turn where they had to retreat the Zacian, and they could have just taken in another Pokemon and taken like 1 or 2 prizes that turn, that would have been game. -1 prize on that turn is game. So I'll take it. Crazy good.